see what happens. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's not responding.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no, it fixed now. I
Oh.
don't know what's going on.
Oh.
It's funny.
See,
You said it's not work. I have no idea what's going on, and my first thought was mood.
same.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Awkward Squad reviews. We are back to discuss our review of To All the Boys I Loved Before 2. Um,
Yes, I love you.
yeah, P.S. I love you. I was trying to remember like what the actual title was. Um, if you have not seen our reaction, go check that out. If you have not watched the movie, also go check that out. If you haven't watched the first movie's reaction and review that we did, also check that out.
We'll do all the work for you. We'll put it in a playlist. All you have to do is press play. You'll get the whole series because we are doing the whole series of To All the Boys.
Yes,
This
so
is like
excited.
Shree's baby. Yeah.
I love these movies so much. I mean, it's not like my okay, it's not my like favorite movie of all time, but like I've watched it. I've watched the series so many times, and it is so like comforting to watch. Like I can watch it with anyone, any of my friends. They've all loved it, you know. And it's just something that you
Yeah.
can put on, you can watch. It's got a great aesthetic. It's got a great soundtrack, great cast, great characters, great plot. Um,
Relatable.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
relatable. Plus John Ambrose. Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day. Oops, sorry for
Oh,
disturbing.
yes.
It is Valentine's Day, and we put these videos out. But I don't know if you remember this, but our first set of videos for To All the Boys 1 came out a couple days ago, and that happened to be the day that the third To All the Boys comes out, Always and Forever.
Just happened.
Yeah, it
Just
just
happened, yeah.
happens,
Didn't
yeah.
Just
really.
accidentally. It was like, oh my gosh, what a
Oops.
coincidence. We said this in the first one. I don't know how the third one's gonna fit in because there's no more letters. And it always felt like just like a grafted on part of the story, but I'm sure it'll be nice.
Let's go through our list. I believe we made a
Yep.
list. Hold on, let me pull it up. I don't know
Well, I
where
have
it
the first
is.
one. I have the first one out here, and it's our general thought.
General thoughts. I mean, you guys already know. I love this movie. I think it's just as good as the first one, maybe if not better.
Oh no,
Um,
I think I like this one better. I mean, I liked some like I've been editing the first one and I was going through it and there's a lot of funny scenes in there, but I think overall this movie was a lot more cohesive for one thing. It felt like a story, like really working through, like there's a thread and it was really nice. But it also was just funnier and more even more like we one of our biggest points for the first movie was that it was so relatable, but I feel like this movie was so much more relatable. I I just genuinely felt like this one is so much like
It has a more relatable issue because liking in more like being conflicted between being liking two people is more relatable than
you wrote
having
five letters.
for your sister's boy ex-boyfriend who's
Ex-boyfriend.
also like one of your childhood best friends and
Yeah.
writing
And then
letters
you created a fake
crushes.
boyfriend to cover it up.
Talk about
Kitty.
how lucky
Yeah.
Kitty was. It turned out well.
It's especially because the whole movie, Kitty's like, "Well, look what happened. Look what happened. Look what happened when I met him. Look what happened." I was like, "You were so lucky. Don't even." And she didn't
Yeah,
even do anything. She just sent out letters that wasn't meant to be.
I don't dislike Kitty or anything, but I was like, really, really,
She
the
has
entire time.
she has like
She
a
definitely had that
strange
Emma
personality.
mentality.
Yeah, she has definitely has an Emma mentality. All
Maybe she
right.
jumped her from the stage because like she's so
Cinematography
proud.
and imagination.
Cinematography and imagination. I think Rebecca,
Uh,
you're the one who mentioned this one, right?
Yeah. So, um, I found the cinematography was really weird in this movie at times. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they just there was just some weird shot where I remember watching it and being like,
Why
why?
this?
oh,
Yeah.
you mean like the music video type of scene, right?
Yeah.
When she started
Yeah,
singing,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was weird.
It was weird, but also along those lines, that music video thing, in the imagination stuff, like some of this stuff was like when they had like in the first movie they had like posters on the wall of the school, right? We talked about the month, so it's November, right? Because they're talking how long they've been in a fake relationship, right? And then by the time it gets to December, that's when the ski trip and everything all happens and it all collapses, right? In this one, they were going with that same route with using those banners, but they did random things like Fakesgiving was only her family. Like that was her family. Like
yeah,
at that point in the movie, like I hadn't seen it in a year. Rebecca's never seen it, and I'm sure she knew what it was because she's watching more often than us. But I was like, Fakesgiving? Like I've never even heard of that. And then they explained it. I'm like, okay, why would that be on the wall in that banner? And then
yeah,
when everything happened, went down with Peter, and it was like heartbreak, and I was like, I don't know if that's the right way to go about this.
yeah. I remember actually making a comment about it, both the Fakesgiving and the heartbreak, where I was like, okay, they looked at how well it worked in the first movie, and they're like, okay, let's do that again, but it just doesn't fit well with this movie as much because it's not about the passage of time as much.
Yeah.
I think they were already connected pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
So I don't think they really needed to do that. I also think the part where she starts like lip syncing, very awkward. I feel so bad for the actress because she looked so like dead inside in that shot. And I mean, she was
I mean,
supposed
and
to
that's
look that
supposed to
way.
be.
She was supposed to
Yeah.
look that way because it was a sad heartbreak sort of moment. But it was also like you could tell she was a little bit weirded out, and I was like, oh my God.
But then I did like the imagination stuff.
one problem I've had, even like initially watching the first movie, is it's very hard. Like it always like puts me off for a second, where it's like I can't initially like
You can't tell if
it
it's
throws
imagination or
me
not.
off for a second where I'm like, wait, are they actually there? Did I just miss something? So I would have liked it if there was like if they had found some sort of way that I appreciate the imagination and because like imagining conversations with people is totally something I do. Most of the conversations I have are in my head. That sounds pretty pathetic, but we're gonna just continue on.
No, don't
Uh,
worry. You got me too.
it would have been nice if they had found. I honestly, I can't off the top of my head think of a way to do it, but it would have been nice if there's something that made it more immediately obvious that it was just happening in her imagination. Because I remember it actually had to be explained to me the first time. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? I would
Isn't that
agree.
the point? That's kind of the point. They want you to be a little shocked at least the first time you see it, and maybe the subsequent
Yeah, but
times.
it
They
took me
want you
out of the
to.
conversation.
That's I don't know. I just didn't feel that at all. I'm always like a
I
little bit
understand.
surprised, but like then like 10 seconds later, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like in her room. This is like in her head. Oh, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
It's always kind of like a
See,
pleasant thing. It's kind of become a hallmark of these movies to have those um, imaginative encounters. I think those are the things that best connect the first movie to the second one.
I'm the thing is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I
Mhm.
appreciate they that they have those conversations where because get a it helps you understand her thought process, and also it is a relatable thing where you can imagine having a conversation with someone, because that's something that I do. But
it just
my
went
issue
on for
is
too
that
long.
it's so that it's so there's like nothing that tells you it's your imagination, except for the fact that like after a minute you realize this can't possibly be
Yes.
something that's actually happening, and later on, and it it's not acknowledged by the other person who is part of the conversation at all. So I think it definitely would have helped to have something that helped
Like a cue.
differentiate. Yeah, like just some sort of something that says this is not happening.
Let's move
I
on
think
to relatable characters and favorite characters. I think we
Well, we
can
were just
hit
kind of talking
two
about
birds
the
with one stone.
relatableness.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a great transition.
one aspect one aspect of how Laura Jean is relatable, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say that Laura Jean is definitely a character I find to be the most relatable. Just, I definitely think I'm most like of all of the characters, I'm most similar to her. So there were just lots of moments where I was like, yeah, or mood, or me.
Yeah. Like her just dancing in her room. Yeah, no, 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 no. I was like, bro, I just did that this morning. What are you? Oh my gosh.
Especially,
I
Well, we know who
guess,
Shree's favorite character is.
yeah, my favorite character is John Ambrose. Most relatable, also John Ambrose, probably. Well, I guess we don't know a ton about him, but like just his vibe, I'm like, bro, that's me.
I definitely see Shree relating more to John Ambrose because you're the least awkward of all of us. Like
Thank
you're
you.
you're so much more like, and you can see John Ambrose still has that awkward squad in him, but it's
I would
not
say
like
he's very
Laura Jean
similar to
level.
Lara Jean, but with less of this. Like he's more able to be social.
Yeah, he is
Yes.
a little bit more smooth. Some of the things he said, I was like, wow, that was good, bro. That was big brain. Like some of the stuff he said to her, I
Yeah.
was like, wow, that was nice. And not that I'm that smooth. I am not that smooth, but I think
But you are a lot more like him.
yeah.
My most relatable character also was Lara Jean, but I she's not
Well,
my
we share
like
brain.
favorite. Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's copper sulfate all the time.
Cooper's
Cooper sulfate now. Yeah. No, but I've related to Lara Jean the most, but she's not in my top three characters. Like my top three, I think would be like John Ambrose, Peter, like really close but still under, and then Lara Jean after him. And I was telling the girls, like I was telling you guys this. I don't know. I think it was after we recorded, but I think the reason I was like I don't find Lara Jean to be like my favorite character is because I relate to her so much, and I'm always like, oh, Eva, you just did something so annoying, right? So I'm probably like projecting that onto Lara Jean also a little bit. And so I think that kind of puts her lower for me because I see so much of myself in her, and I see myself as annoying. And so if I see myself as annoying and she's so much like me, she's probably going to be annoying too. Who is your favorite
Okay.
character? We never.
You guys, I said my favorite character,
Yeah, she
not
did.
in
Oh
this
yeah.
video, but I can't. Lucas, I can't explain why, I have no idea why
Can't
I like
explain
him so
why.
much, especially since he doesn't show up that often. But every time he's on screen, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I wish we got more of him in this movie. That's one of my
yeah.
one of the few nitpicks I have. I wish we got more of him. I think we
So
can move
what's
on
next?
to
Yeah.
how characters handled various situations.
I think this is one a point of contention in the reaction, and I don't know if it'll
Yeah, I
be
think
in
I was the
there.
only one defending Laura.
Um,
When
yeah, we're talking about at the end
the
with
end.
John Ambrose, which
Oh,
he gets him.
leaving
Yeah.
her. Oh
So
no, my boy.
this part, I don't know if we'll have it in the reaction because you just can't like you can't just pull that back up. It's kind of
Yeah,
naturally came up, but
I think we
but
might kind of be able to get it because
it's just
of
such a
just
visceral reaction for
yeah,
me. I just did not like the way Lara Jean handled, especially the ending. Like, just generally her relationship with John Ambrose and Peter. I don't think she approached it the right way. I think she should
we
have been
all agree
honest.
on this. It's
But I
the
can understand that it was so like she wait like we're all procrastinators here. I
Yes.
can understand that she waited so long that by the time that it just
it blew up
exploded
in her
on
face.
her. Yeah. So I can understand that. But at the very end, I had to wash my hands of how Laura Jean treated John Ambrose because I cannot because John Ambrose clearly had feelings for her, right? And we knew this, especially after kind of like that treehouse thing. Right? There was no real question now that John Ambrose had feelings for her. Like everything before, I can like you can try to interpret it like, oh, he just thought of me like a really good friend, or he just really liked my personality.
A
Right?
really
Everything
good friend.
really good friend, yeah. But at that star ball, right? And like down it even like I had no doubt after that tree. But even if she was still doubting that he had feelings for her,
The
even if
piano part was
yeah, clearly
totally, yeah,
I know that. But
yeah.
even if she did not register that at all, and we
I
got
think
to
she
the star
definitely did.
ball, I think she did.
She
But
totally knew
even if
at
she
least at the
didn't,
piano thing.
at least. But even if she didn't, that star ball, there was no that like, that was obviously he had feelings for her. There's no way you can even doubt it at this point, right? And then knowing that at the end they're going out and they're doing the snow angels thing and she's basically just leading him on and kisses him and that and then just leaves, like doesn't say I'm sorry, which I can understand how
She
saying
does.
maybe I'm
She does say I'm
oh well
sorry.
She
she
says
she
I'm
does say I'm
sorry.
sorry, but she doesn't like explain, right? And she's like and I know he understands, but like it's better to hear it, like you don't want to be like it's like if I told you Shri I'm sorry and then you're like yeah I know you want to be friends with Rebecca, right? It would be so I know this sounds off example I can come up with, right? But it would be better if I said it
Would
to
I be?
you,
So I'm the John Ambrose. Rebecca is Peter
Peter.
Kavinsky.
I guess. I'm Lara Jean.
Ah, yes.
I don't have her
You're Laura
style.
Jean.
I'm Lara Jean.
Margie.
I'm the shortest one of all. See, this is perfect. I'm Largy. Imagine that conversation. I know you know that this conversation why don't want to be friends with you, but it would be more polite, respectful to tell it to your face. Just be honest and be like, hey, look, I don't think we can be friends anymore. I want to be friends with Rebecca because somehow
And
those two
here's
things are
the
mutually
thing.
exclusive.
Do you think, Eva, you have a point, with the whole, like, you just kiss him and you leave thing. But I think leading up to that whole thing, like, she didn't know how she was feeling, right? She had just broken up with Peter. You know,
Okay.
I do kind of understand why she, went along with the whole thing at the Star Ball, the dancing, the snow angels, the kiss thing, because she didn't know how she was feeling. She was like, this might be a new avenue for me. John Ambrose and I might be better together than Peter and I were. And then she kisses him, and she's like, oh no, I don't, it's not the same thing. But then she leaves, like you said, and I'm like, oh no. She just says I'm sorry and leaves, and he's like, you were expecting it to be someone else, and that's it.
Yeah, he said
And
it's Peter, isn't it? And I was like, it's so sad. He just accepts it, and like I mean, what
she
can you
just
really do?
leaves
You
him
know,
out
like,
there in the snow, bro, in
but
the
he just, yeah.
cold.
So I
Okay.
agree that it was not handled well. We all agree that this was definitely not the best way to go about things. But I think I'm the most, of the three of us, I'm the most sympathetic to her
Yeah,
because I'm not,
probably.
definitely not as angry at her as like either of you are. Because, uh, so one, everything, I agree that there was a bit too much of a hint of things, but you have to also consider all of the emotion. You can't like look at that in a vacuum. And I think both of you are kind of looking at it from John Ambrose's side too much that you're discounting certain things. So
See,
I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at it from John Ambrose's side at all, because, like I said, I definitely agree that she did not handle it well. And you guys saw me yelling at her, "Tell him you're dating Peter."
mhm.
Yeah.
Like I, I was actually yelling at her to tell. So I definitely, to that part, I don't think pre the ball. I can't say exactly she was leading him on because she never did anything that wasn't outside of the realm of like stuff that friends can do together. And she wasn't being insincere at any point. She was having issues where she was confused because, there was the emotions being brought up of, I have to address the embarrassment of these letters again, even though I already thought I was done with this. She's
Mhm.
having all of her completely understandable uh, um, insecurities in her relationship with Peter, and she was
Mhm.
kind of mad at Peter in at in some ways. Uh, and also her attraction to John Ambrose was being reawakened. And I think she was also kind of mixing up like platonic chemistry because they definitely did have some romantic chemistry, but it was mostly platonic chemistry.
Between her and John Ambrose?
Not exactly sure. It's not supposed to be platonic feelings here. Like, we're supposed to get the feeling that
I don't
she
think I'm
has
explaining
feelings
it
for
well.
him. Oh,
I
maybe. I don't know.
So I know that she is genuinely attracted to him. But what I was saying was that their relationship wasn't necessarily one that um, is good, like romantically explicit. I frustration
I
of
like them better than
I don't
not.
Her and
think
Peter sometimes.
I'm
I
trying to
I think they had
explain.
similar vibes to Peter and Laura Jean. Like,
I disagree.
especially in the beginning, like in the first movie, like they had like the same sort of like bantery type thing. It's
Yeah.
not, I mean, it's kind of
It's not.
platonic, but it's
I
like
think they were
leaning into the other
closer.
Yeah,
territory.
no.
I think
I
they were
but I
closer than Peter and Laura Jean were in the beginning. Like in the
Sure.
beginning, Peter and Laura
okay.
starting from scratch.
So,
Here, her
I'm
and
sorry.
John
I'm
are
really
not.
not explaining. It's hard. This is hard for me to explain. I think part of it is he's being like part of what's confusing her is he's being such like they have so many like similarities and that work in such a good like friendship, and it's always nice to be around someone who has a lot of similarities to you and is being a supportive friend. And I think that was sort of in contrast to the issues she was having with Peter, that was amplifying her romantic attraction to him. I don't think that she handled it perfectly, but I can't be mad at her because I can understand why she got out of there as fast as possible. And I don't, aside from like, honestly, I don't know what she could have done that would have made that. There's nothing she could have done that would have made that situation better.
So rehashing it may not be like what you want to do, or it may not be. But even if you already knows, it's it's better to not leave anything up in the air and just be honest and be like, look, yeah, you're right. I do like Peter, right? Or I am still in love with Peter, but that doesn't I guess change the fact that we can still be friends. I don't know, something like that. It doesn't
Okay,
make it
I think
better in the sense that he's been rejected, but it makes it better that nothing left in the air. There's closure for the situation.
okay, I can understand that.
Personally,
Can we
just to
I
cut
mean,
to the
yeah, just
end,
to yeah,
I
cut
think
through the end.
that personally I like her with John Ambrose better. I mean, I like Peter, don't get me wrong, but I think it would have been better if she ended up with John Ambrose. And I felt that way reading the book, watching the movie, just both ways, across the board. I think John Ambrose would have been a better choice.
Yeah,
um,
I feel the same way, but I feel like I only feel the same way just because I like John Ambrose better. But
that's
I also do like Peter. Like in the first movie and the first book, I was more of a Peter person than a Josh person. Team Peter
Yeah.
over Team Josh. But then second on, if the girls asked me in middle school, are you Team Peter or are you Team John Ambrose? Team John
Team John.
Ambrose.
Which
same.
team are you?
Yeah.
Um, so I don't think I had either. Like, I wasn't sort of someone who like I'm like I like Peter better or I like John Ambrose better. I liked both of them. Uh, but in terms of relationship, I see um Peter and her working out better. Just because I would almost say that John Ambrose and Laura Jean are too similar.
See, I was thinking about that, but I think that they're very similar, but I think they're also different enough that it would work out for them. Because for me, I like to stay at home more than I like to go out. Now, if the guy I was with was like Peter, very outgoing, I don't think I would be able to enjoy very much. I mean, obviously, I would long, it'd be nice once in a while, but then all the time, it would be very. I would prefer somebody who's like introverted, like introverted enough that he's like willing to stay home and understands that you just need some space away from people, but extroverted enough that you're like, okay, let's go to this place because we can't always be shut up at home. Like that's just not good for you. And and in the same way, when he's feeling more introverted and I think we need to go out, then I will do the same for him. Like, you know what? We need to go out someplace. We can't just stay at home all the time, right? And I think that she and John kind of have that enough uh, differences. I was gonna say dissimilarities, but I was like, there's a better word for that. Differences that it works for them.
I don't know. I partially in the movie he was um John Ambrose didn't seem as real to me. as
I
like
can
some of
understand
the other
that.
characters.
Yeah, I get that. It
Like,
seemed almost like he was in a different world from all her regular life.
yeah, because like if you notice, we never like the one scene we see him interacting with any other part of her life is the
Is the
really
tree house.
awkward
Yeah.
treehouse scene. And so he just didn't entirely seem real to me. And
Yeah.
also he didn't have like I guess you could sort of say one of like his flaws was like his insecurities in terms of like his view of how everyone wanted to be friends with him because they wanted to be friends with Peter. But
Mhm.
aside from that, he was like perfectly
Perfect.
understanding, perfectly like bantery, and Peter is just more real. I felt like John Ambrose wasn't much outside of a love interest for Laura Jean, and so I can't make myself be team John Ambrose in terms of like who I think that she should end up with.
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate. Like
Yeah,
I can understand
I
that.
can respect that too.
Get some
Final
quick final
thoughts.
thoughts. Yeah.
You guys already know I
Mine.
love this movie. But yeah, let's let Eva go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I also really like this movie. I'm not gonna take too much time because we already have a lot of stuff, but um, I think that it was a really good movie. There were some like technical things that I think they could have worked out to make the story more uh real. It was already more relatable than the first one, but there were still some parts that I was like, that was weird. Why did they do that? So but overall, I really did like this movie, and I'm Team John Ambrose. Cannot
Alright.
say.
Um,
uh,
I think that the whole team thing comes with the implication that you personally like one character more than the other. So I don't know if I can really say I'm team either. I'm more I I guess if I had to choose I'd say team Peter, not because like I like Peter better, but more just because he's more real.
Listen.
Um and I also am more neutral between the two movies. Like I enjoy both of the movies, but I can't say that I like one better than the other or that one is I guess I would say the second one is more relatable, but like more relatable in the general story, but just in like moment to moment, I found myself relating just as much either way. Like I could understand Laura Jean's emotions just as easily in either movie. So I can't say, but of course, I've only watched both of these movies once, and I've never read either of the books. So I maybe that would change upon rewatching them or reading the books. So I that is something that I would like to point out is all of my perspectives are I have only watched either movie once and I've never read the books. So that is one caveat and I have no idea how my opinions would change upon rewatching or reading the books.
all right, and there you have it, our review for the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before 2. P.S. I love you. If you like this video, click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are not already, and
At
click
the
the
timing
notification.
of this video, we have 51 subscribers. Yay!
Ooh.
Oh, one more than last time I checked.
Yep.
But the essay for this video is like who do you like better?
I like how
Actually,
no one
you
ever
know what?
writes the
I don't want to give a
essays.
specific essay for this one because I would be fascinated to know the opinions on pretty much all of our topics. You know, how did you feel with like how do you feel about how
Imagination.
Like the imagination thing, but also how Laura Jean handled everything? Like, are you on my side where you're more sympathetic to her, or are you angrier at her, like the other two? Um, and like, do you who's your favorite character and why? Are you Who do you think she'd be better with? And do you agree with me that at least in the movie, John Ambrose doesn't seem as real? I would just be fascinated to know the answers to all of those.
Yes,
So,
leave that in the comments down below. Um, Check out our Instagram. That's gonna be in the description. And I guess that's it. Bye, guys.
bye, fan.
Bye. Bye, Ben.
Oh, God.